Well, the last lap of the conversation would have us talking about the calls for the creation of Obolo State. And we know these calls are not new, but they seem to have grown louder and in a way harder to ignore. At the heart of it is a demand for identity, recognition, and administrative unification. But here's a real question. In a nation bloated with underperforming states, does carving out another truly fix the marginalization the Obolo people feel? What are the significant contexts to these calls at this time? And why is it coming at this time? We have in the studio President General Oron Union, Sir Essang Bassey, speaking to us on these issues. So welcome to the program, sir.
Welcome to the program. And looking at the agitation for the creation of Obolo State, the question is, why now? And what is this? What is the agitation for? What is creating this agitation for in the minds of the people of the Obolo?
Well, everything has a time. They say why now? So maybe this is the time for it. But then that agitation did not start today. In the 9th Assembly, we had made a presentation to the National Assembly for the creation of Obolo State. Unfortunately, that process did not get concluded within the tenure of that particular National Assembly. But this one that has started early, I think we decided to reactivate that demand that Obolo State should be created, and we are very hopeful that God on our side and are meeting the conditional requirements, Obolo State will be created.
All right, Sir Essang Bassey, bring us some historic context to this entire demand. I mean, I'm sure there are a lot of viewers currently who do not know why it is important to the Obolo people that a state be created. Bring us some historic context, cultural context, if you may, and even what it truly means for the Obolo people ancestry when we talk about the creation of this state. Why is it important to you?
Well, demand for state creation is not new. As far back as in the 50s, people clamored for the creation of a core state, that's Calabar, Oguja, River states. And that brought about the creation of the then Southeastern state in 1967. And then further agitation led to the creation of Akwa Ibom state. And each time states are created, you could see centers of development. Wherever it's chosen as the state capital, you see development. So creation of a Obolo state will bring development closer to the people, especially being a coastal area, which is a challenging terrain, and which presently, the present governments of both Akwa Ibom and River State have not been able to, because of their resources, attend to it properly. So we believe that if we have Obolo State, the coastal region of Nigeria will be developed, and that will complement the federal government desire to develop the coastal area, especially through the creation of Calabar, Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway. So we believe that that intention is to develop that area. And we strongly believe that creation of a Obolo State will enhance or complement the desires and programs of the federal government of Nigeria.
With the agitation getting louder, there has also been the angle from the Ibibios and some sects in Akwa Ibom State who have mentioned that the Obolos intend to create a state and carve parts of their land into Obolo State as agitated for. What would the people have to say with regards to?
Well, that's a misnomer, because when they say that, they're assuming that Akwa Ibom State belongs to a particular ethnic group. In Akwa Ibom State, we have the Kari people around in the axis. You have the Anang people, you have the Ibibios, you have Oro, you have Obolo, and so on. So Akwa Ibom State does not belong to only them. And talking about carving out their land, I don't think anybody owns land. It's God that owns land, and everyone came here through migration. Some came first, like Oron people believe came first, because all the missionaries that came with the Presbyterian, the Methodists, the Catholics saw the Oron people first before going hinterland to see the rest. The Portuguese that came saw us first before going hinterland to see the rest. Even the colonial masters, when they came, they saw us at the coast before they referred to the people as the people living in the hinterland. That's the Libya. So we have always been there. So, but then if people are saying everybody should go to where they came from, according to their history, and not be writing it, people like Professor Manu and Noah said they came from Arochukwu Igbo. Then they should also migrate back to where they came from.
Well, the conversation is not about who would migrate or not. We would also like you to bring us some context regarding the issue of these fragmentations. We already have 36 states already, plus the FCT, of course. And so far, there are issues with even managing the states that we have, allocation of entitlement and all of that. And we are talking about creating more states. Do you see an anomaly there?
Yeah, I don't see any anomaly. I believe that Obolo State will be very viable. You're talking about states that are not viable. We have the natural resources, we have the gas in almost every local government, onshore, not offshore. You go to Oron, you have onshore gas companies there. You go to Refon, even in the Oron, across that island, you see people drilling oil and so on. So apart from the offshore, we do have onshore oil facilities, the fishing, maritime trade, and so on. And I believe that it will be a very lucrative, prosperous state.
Well, sorry for cutting you, Essang Bassey. They are saying that that is also the selfish aspect of these calls, that you want to garner all of the natural resources to yourself alone and cut out the other parts of the state.
That's a misnomer, because presently, if you look at the in Akwa Ibom State, they have local governments they recognize as oil producing. These include Etinan, Siribum, Ruanam, Eket, Eastern Obolo, Eket, Essang, Ona, and so on. About 14 of them. And they only all producing local government. So for only 2 or 3 to be out, I don't think it's going to, it's an issue of gathering all the resources away. If they didn't have oil, why were they considered or classified as oil producing local governments? So I don't see us taking anything away from them.
But specifically, what forms your reason for wanting a state, considering the fact that we're talking about cost of governance, and creating an additional state means that the government there has to be funding for those local allocations for the states, and also the creation of local government areas. There will be governors, there will be commissioners. And don't you think this is, like some are speculating, that this is stemmed out of a selfish desire to also be in control of affairs?
So I don't think so. In United States of America, you have 50 states. And some of the states are smaller, both in size and population, than the Obolo State we are talking about. If you Google it, you see it. Over 10 states are smaller than Obolo State. And if President Trump is even thinking of bringing Canada in as the 51st state. So I don't see state creation being issue of trying to cut, or what should I use there? That's to reduce the size of one state, or to reduce the resources. Resources at the national level is shared first on 50% of the quality of states. So we are not taking from any other person. We are sharing from what the ports, the central ports. In the north, they have 19 states presently, and they're asking for 25 states. So if you get 25 additional states and you still remain one, so when things are shared, you only get one portion, the other person gets 40-something portions. Because first and foremost is 50% for everybody before they now talk of other criteria to add this or that.
All right. Sir Essang Bassey, you would agree that it is nearly impossible under the current dispensation of the democratic values to get new states created. You would agree with that. And you also know that it may be easier to create local government areas, senatorial districts, than it is easy to get a new state. What do you think is the reason that is? And do you see this Obolo State Clamours even seeing the light of day?
I believe that it will see the light of day. Like I said, creation of state is a process, just like creation of local governments. They are all functions of the National Assembly, and the issue of constitutional amendments, because they are entrenched in the Constitution. And there's a process. We are following the process through. After we have to presented a case both at the Senate and at the Federal House of Representatives. Then the next step will be maybe a referendum from the area that are asking for the states. And I want to tell you that we will get nothing less than 90% of people living within the area requesting. That's what the constitution says. People living within the area making the request. And once that is done, the matter will be sent to these 36 states House of Assemblies to also deliberate and vote. And with that, you're talking about 24, 2/3 of 36 is 24 states. So if we can get simple majority in 24 states, then certainly we are on. Other states people are asking for it. What's wrong with asking for it? It is our right to ask for creation of states. It's not to divide anybody. It's to bring development closer to the people.
And if this sails through, what would it really mean for the Obolo people?
Well, it means one greater sense of integration amongst us, sense of belonging to the Nigerian Federation. It means development. Can you imagine that the whole of that area for 36 years now, 38 years since state creation, we don't have a university, we don't even have a campus of university, we don't have a polytechnic, we don't have college of education. And once we have a state, we can easily create a state university. In fact, from day one, will be announced and we start it. So I think it means a lot for us to have that state. There are several things that will come, like even to the benefit, there will be benefit both for the present Akwa Ibom State and Obolo State, because at the national level, instead of having just 3 senators, we'll be talking of 6 senators. Talking about the 10 members of the Federal House of Reps, we'll be talking about 18 and thereabout. So the benefit is for everybody.
So where does this leave the conversation of the Ibom Deep Seaport, which was contemplated to be sited in that area?
I can tell you categorically that for the past 10 years, there's nothing like called Ibom Deep Seaport. And it's a fact. I've been there, I've seen it. The federal government had wanted to build a seaport as far back as 2013. They brought in the financiers, the CCECC, the company that was to construct it, set up an implementation committee. The then governor, His Excellency, Governor Gospel Akpabio, laid the foundation stone. But immediately left. By 2015, some people felt smart that they should take the seaport away from Oron. They changed the name, set up a new implementation committee. The federal government backed out, and they took it to a disputed area where in their new map they are trying to carve and put that area under Eket and Nesreket. And since they did that, for the past 10 years, they have spent billions of naira and dollars, but there's nothing on ground as I speak. From few months ago, there was a hall meeting here in Rio where the chairman of that committee was asked to come and present a report on that. The only thing that came out of it was that there's a timeline to start the seaport in 2027.
All right, so Essang Bassey, we need to go, but I would like your parting shot on this. As long as the Obolo State creation is not realized, what is the stance of the persons clamoring for this? How do you see yourselves in relation to other ethnic groups in Akwa Ibom State? Do you still feel that bond of brotherhood?
No, like I said, there's nothing wrong. We have nothing. There's no dispute between us and them. We are making a genuine demand for a state creation, and I believe it will come to pass. Like I said, it's a process. Some people may say, "Oh, it's not possible. Civilian administration has never created a state." But I want to tell you that the present administration, with the President Tinubu in power, he wants to show the world that it's possible to do it. We've amended the constitution several times, and the state creation and local governments are part of constitutional amendments, and I think it will do it with our excellent president of the Senate on seat. I think he would like to make history, and we want to support him to ensure that that comes to pass.
All right, President General Oron Union, Essang Bassey.
I also the chairman board of trustees of Obolo People's Union.
Thank you very much for coming on Niger Delta today. We appreciate your views on the program.
Thank you very much. My pleasure.
All right, that's the size of Niger Delta today. Most thank you for staying with us till this moment. Catch again tomorrow for another fresh edition. My name is Xavier Robert, wishing you a terrific Thursday.
And thank you for being a part of the program. I am Jennifer Pius. Have a great day.